All right, brothers and sisters, we are back, as we mentioned, on the phone with our new friend and brother Talib Abdullah, continuing on. Brothers and sisters, what we wanted to do is continue on talking about some of these issues affecting us, especially Muslims in the inner city, as we know that this is where large pockets this is where the body of the indigenous Muslim community lies. We've got a big problem with Islam, merging Islam with gang activity. And you spoke a little bit about that in previous lectures. And as a matter of fact, we played one of them in the previous week's show, and it was fascinating. There are several gangs that try to incorporate Islam in its message. I don't know if you know particularly why that is, but what insight can you give on this particular issue, whether attacking the falsity of it or how to get out of it? Just go ahead for it. It's all yours.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, which means in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. I can only give, as I'm able to, some perspective. Years ago, well, and still today, here again, back to the priority of the Deen of Islam. The priority of the Deen of Islam is that people believe properly in the Creator and worship the Creator properly. That was the direction of messengers. That was Abraham's direction when he spoke with Nimrod, and that was the direction that Moses took when he spoke with Pharaoh, and that was the direction that Jesus took when he spoke to his people. And later on to the people of Rome, and that was the direction that the Prophet Muhammad took when he called up to the Quraysh. And I say that to say that that is the first priority, and the first priority is not social justice. This whole idea of trying to call to social justice and calling revolutionary social justice movements a religion is false. And so there was a lot of that going on here in the 60s by various names. And calling it Islam also, but its actual energy was behind getting the rights of people straight, whether the rights of the Creator were straight or not.
Right.
And so some of this, by those people, their children were raised in an environment in which they heard they were given an enemy. Sometimes the enemy might have been a government. Sometimes the enemy might have been a race of people. Sometimes the enemy might have been people who have a certain economic class level.
Yeah.
All those things. When they were not successful, and you cannot be successful with it because it is not the line of success in Islam. The people some of them turned to crime, and some people believed that they could actually commit crime because they misunderstood some foundations about the religion. They thought that because some people thought that because the people were not Muslim, that they sometimes could commit crimes against them, and we cannot, and we do not. If that was the case, then as I accepted Islam and you accepted Islam for Muslims, there's no such thing as a Muslim turning on a non-Muslim in a non-Muslim society and his priority be to commit a harm against him. So there were people who actually preached this kind of foolishness to people, and the young heard this. So
this is the same trend that, and this is amazing that you're mentioning this, because this is the same trend that's bending through the Arab Islamic world, where you've got people following the likes of Sayyid Qutb, who believe that, you know, it's permissible to kill in the name of setting social justice right, because some of the members of our people have been killed, and so on and so forth. So let's kill some innocents over here to restore the justice balance.
Right. And it all comes from an idea of trying to overthrow the ruling people. This is where his idea came from. Now, over here, it's the battle, and that was a battle for social justice at that time, done wrongly. And over here is the same thing. So now the youth pick up the idea that they believe, and even if you go into prisons, you find people who are guilty of crimes, had no sanction from the religion, calling themselves political prisoners. They're not political prisoners, criminals. There's a difference between the two. The guy committed a straight crime. But he thinks, because he wasn't taught right, he thinks that he could take some of the name you just called as a hero and use that and make an analogy that has no part in the religion.
You're supposed to let me rob this grocery store, man. I'm a prisoner of conscience.
Right, right. And also the many of the movements have a materialistic greed about them. Behind it is actually trying to control things. I think you mentioned gangs. One of the gangs' main issue, the false idea about territory. The gangs sometimes they want to take over. One of their issues is territory. This is our territory. We're marking it. You know, we aren't cats. We don't mark, ground like that. I'm gonna spray. I mean, literally, the guys spray. Spray the wall like a cat. Cat spraying. We spray. We're spraying walls.
Oh my God.
So we're not cats. But and we have no authority in the land that we don't own to try to take over territory. This has to do with the world, the same world. That you hear people cursing out of one side of their mouth when they're saying, I hate the dunya, and then they're trying to, some people are mixed in with people who the whole thing is the dunya. So the youth are being bombarded with this world attitudes. It's all about getting yours. It's about having yours. It's about your territory. And they want the money back. We want the block. We want the house. What we want, what the true Muslim wants, he wants what the Messenger of Allah wanted, and every Messenger before him wanted. He wanted the people to have the right to worship their Lord correctly, because it has not just connected to this world, but this world and the next world.